Now it's time to move forward with our next exciting session of the day. And I now invite Mrs. Sirisha to present the profile of our second speaker, Pankaj Diwanji, who will be sharing his valuable insights on generative AI tools in education and learning platforms. Sirisha, please take the floor.
Yes, ma'am. Today, we are honored to have with us Mr. Pankaj Diwan, a distinguished thought leader and innovator with a deep passion for empowering the youth through skilling and fostering entrepreneurship. With over 20 years of experience, Mr. Diwan has significantly impacted India's innovation ecosystem by bridging the talent gap and advancing cutting edge technologies. As a co founder of Talentform AI, an AI powered platform, he is leading the charge in addressing the talent paradox in India by revolutionizing the skilling and recruitment landscape. His vision and efforts have resulted in the successful upskilling of over a million engineers through Idea Labs Future Tech Ventures, which he founded. India Labs is India's largest innovation and upskilling company with an extensive reach across emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, blockchain, IoT, and cybersecurity. Mr. Diwan is a key advisor to multiple government bodies and industry organizations, helping to shape policies related to skilling, innovation, and entrepreneurship. His strategic insights have been instrumental in the development of academic alliances with more than 100 engineering colleges across India collaborating with him to empower students with cutting edge technologies and entrepreneurial skills. Currently, Mr. Diwan serves as the Chief Evangelist for Blockchain COE at GMR Innovex, where he drives blockchain adoption across industries and as a co founder of the India Blockchain Forum, a platform aimed at making India a global leader in blockchain and Web 3.0 technologies. He also plays a crucial role in several prestigious organizations such as the Federation of Telangana Chambers of Commerce and Industry, T-Hub, and Sri Sri University. He is an avid mentor, investor, and advisor. Mr. Diwan has guided numerous early stage startups in deep technological areas like AI, blockchain, and IoT. His contributions to the entrepreneurial ecosystem are visible through his involvement in JHub Anxiety and Innovation Initiative at JNTU Hyderabad and his long standing support for initiatives like TEDx Hyderabad and Hyderabad Hackers. Let us welcome Mr. Pankaj Diwan, a true pioneer in innovation and skilling, whose work continues to inspire and shape the future of technology and entrepreneurship in India. Diwan sir, the session
Right.
is all yours.
Thank you, Dr. Shirisha. Thank you for your generous introduction. I learned a few things about myself through your introduction. Thank you. Um, Good evening, everyone. And I would first of all like to thank Dr. Kalavati, Dr. Shirisha, the faculty members and management of VVIT for organizing this faculty development program. As educators, as faculty, I think it's getting more and more challenging for all of us to be a step ahead of the students because your students are now sitting in the classroom with access to chat GPT, access to YouTube, access to all kinds of tools. And I'm sure it's very challenging for all of us to keep pace at one level with the technology advances combined with the mischief that students would do when they are in classroom, right? I would also like to appreciate the fact that the topics that you have chosen for the faculty development program, blockchain and Gen AI, I think both are very interesting and are foundational technologies which will shape the next 10, 20 years of mankind. So, and the icing on the cake is, of course, the fact that all of you are spending late evening hours learning these technologies because you have your day job, you are busy with your work. Some of you must be busy with your exam duties, responsibilities, and regular classwork and all that. So I would like to appreciate and congratulate all of you for being part of this, for being so enthusiastic. My only request would be to not leave it after these 4 or 5 days of faculty development program, but continue as a group, exchanging best practices, exchanging your experiences, because all of you must be coming from different colleges, different regions, experiencing different challenges. Please continue this dialogue, continue this engagement with the mentors also, with the guest faculty also, and amongst yourself also, because learning has to be a continuous activity, right? You cannot imagine a marathon runner to stop learning. You cannot imagine a tennis player to stop learning. You cannot imagine a cricket player to stop learning, right? The coaching continues for life. I think we are all now in a state of affairs where technology is going to keep changing, and to keep pace with technology and to utilize technology for the purposes that we are involved in, we'll always have to be continuous learners. So all of us will have to keep the student in us alive, right? With that little background, there are two or three things that I want to say at the outset to help you understand where I'm coming from. And then I want to spend some time talking about what are the challenges typically our current education system has, and how technology like Gen AI comes as a real Sanjeevani, if I were to use the word, to solve these problems, right? But before I talk about the challenges in education system and the possible solutions which are being used in today's world, let me also tell you how this topic and this workshop is interesting to me and how deeply I'm connected to some of these topics. One, I have myself been into skilling for the last 20 years as Idea Labs, which I started about 20 years back in 2003. Been fortunate to work with more than 10 lakh students directly across 150 universities and colleges across India, across 20 states in India, right? So we do understand a little bit of student mindset. We do understand a little bit of what works with students, what doesn't work with students, um, right? So that's one aspect. The challenge is, of course, continuous. Then, in terms of blockchain, I've been one of the early adopters of blockchain. If I were to share a little bit of my screen, you'll probably be able to see some of the things that I've done in blockchain. Uh, Let me see if I can share my screen. Yeah. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir. It's visible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So I'm sharing this not to talk about myself or boast about myself, but I always feel whenever I get a chance to talk to colleges, faculty, I want to share about myself so that they can utilize this. They can, uh, take help whenever required. More than happy to support all of you across your colleges. So I've been accidentally recognized as the top 30 blockchain influencers by Singapore FinTech News. And just last week, I've been made member of the Blockchain ISO Standards Committee to represent India on blockchain standards and DLT. Apart from that, I've also been fortunate to be nominated as an advisor to Government of Telangana for their Web3 regulatory sandbox and tokenization framework. In addition to that, of course, I'm a management committee member at Federation of Telangana Chamber of Commerce and Industries. And in my professional career, I've been founder of three organizations. One, India Blockchain Forum, which is a not-for-profit organization which gets academic leaders, policy leaders, corporate leaders, technology leaders, startups across the landscape so that we can work together in ensuring that our students, our startups, our corporates are doing well in blockchain, and we can make India as a hub for blockchain. So we help colleges set up center of excellence in blockchain. We help startups in getting funding in blockchain related space. We help companies who are in other countries who want to enter Indian market to reach out to companies, reach out to user base in blockchain. So that's something that we do. We are also constantly working with multiple state governments and central governments in terms of shaping the blockchain policy framework for India. The other company that I started about 20 years back is Idea Labs, which is what I spoke about, where we've been into skilling and innovation consulting, worked with more than 10 lakh students over the last 20 years. And the latest company, which I've started is about a year back, which is called Talent Farm. And that in a way is very contextual because we use Gen AI and AI for everything in skilling. So whatever we've learned in 20 years with Idea Labs, working with 10 lakh students, and whatever shortcomings we felt we were not able to achieve by the manual approach or by human approach, we've tried to include a lot of technology around AI and Gen AI, including blockchain, to solve those things. And our problems are same as your problems, because as an educator, as a faculty, you are looking at student success. And Talent Farm also, we call ourselves as a student success platform. We don't call ourselves as a skilling platform or a training platform, because we're an aggregator of all solution providers. For example, Nishtha would have explained about her AI tool, which does the interviews, which can create mock interviews and real interviews based on the job description. Now, we would love to integrate that kind of a tool on our platform, so that at some stage of student skilling, the student may want to go through these mock interviews, or as part of engagement with the student, we may use the same AI coach to ask questions about the class which just completed, about feedback about the class, right? So many other things we can have use cases around that. So we are using a lot of technology, and that's why this workshop about blockchain, this workshop about tools in education, and this workshop on Gen AI comes across as a very nice and interesting topic for me to share some of our learning, some of our experiences. And I hope that some of these will be useful to you. But before I proceed further with what I want to discuss on these tools and all that, I remember that around 6 o'clock, when we started the session with Nishtha, I had requested all of you to collect your thoughts on what you think are the challenges. Forget about AI for a minute, forget about blockchain for a minute, forget about Gen AI, forget about how you want to use technology. I want you to tell me a few things which you think are the challenges when it comes to students learning, when it comes to you being effective in teaching the students, when it comes to challenges that students face to learn to succeed. What do you think are the problems? Don't hesitate to, speak your mind. There's no answer which is going to be right or wrong. There's no answer which is going to be good or bad or silly. So I encourage all of you to share your opinion, because I want to shape my talk in the next half an hour, 40 minutes, around the point that you mentioned, and how there are tools and there are ways of solving those challenges. Because end of the day, I don't think we've come here to know the list of tools, but I think we need a lasting solution. And if we are able to help each other in finding some solutions to our common problems, to our challenges, then I think this FDP program would be worthwhile. So can you please share what you think are the challenges at a framework level, in terms of skilling, in terms of students learning, in terms of what are the challenges you face as an educator? What would help you in doing better as an educator? Let's say you have a magic wand, and whatever you say comes true. What would be the wish list?
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
I am Dr. Sai Jyoti, sir, co-coordinator of this FTP program. Sir, what
ma'am.
I feel is there is always a noticeable gap between academia and industry, sir. To address this gap, we regularly participate in and organize the programs like this FDPs.
Right.
And the general challenges that we are facing are lack of resources, and lack of real-time exposure. And the most important thing is, sir, it is highly impossible to obtain authentic industry relevant data sets for training and research.
Very nice. Okay.
And another problem that I have faced is the validity and correctness of the model that I have developed.
Okay.
To check the
Very nice.
validity and correctness of the model that we have developed.
Very nice. Very nice. Very good. Very nice points. Very interesting points. I'll just quickly repeat for the benefit of everyone. You said one, there is a gap between academia and industry. Second, lack of resources. Third, lack of real-time exposure. Fourth, lack of authentic data sets. Fifth, I have added myself lack of access to industry mentors. And sixth,
Yes, yes, sir.
validation and correctness in terms
Yes,
of
yes, sir.
what you're doing is right or wrong. Right? I've
Yes,
captured it.
yes, sir.
Right. Very nice.
Yes,
Very
sir.
good points. I think this is a very good starting point. Any other points anyone wants to add? Mention
I
anything
faced
else?
all these problems while I am doing my research.
I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm sure. And these are very genuine points. I'm just seeing if there are any other points anyone wants to add anything else to this. Well, I have a list of more than 100 points, but I'm waiting for others to see if there's any other thing that they have observed in their experience. You can look at it from your point of view. You can look at it from students' point of view. What do you think is a challenge for students? What do you think is a challenge for you? What is it that is failing our education system in a way that because this topic of gap between academia and industry was discussed 25 years back when I was a student also. And today, after 25 years, just the direction has changed, but I'm still discussing the same topic with you. Yes, Dr. Ashok Kumar, you wanted to mention something?
Yes, sir. Sir, this is Ashok Kumar. Is my voice is audible, sir?
Yes, sir.
Sir, what I observed is in the especially for the students' background, we have seen many of the students they are lagging in the communication skills, sir. They have the good knowledge in the technical, but they are lagging in the communication skills. And what I
Okay.
observed is from they have the book knowledge good, sir.
Mm.
Regarding for the practical knowledge when it's coming to the industry, they are lagging.
Right. Right.
So as they went as in the further future, they whenever they want to go for the industry, they were no one will be asking to write the question and answer for the students.
Mm. Mm.
The
Mm.
students got mug up with the question and answers to preparing, and they have the good
Mm.
communication, good in the technical, but they are lagging in the practical, sir. As the madam has said, there is a
Right.
gap is been generated for the industry as well as the teaching purpose. So how can we
Right.
overcome that? That is my point, sir.
Sure. Sure. I'll try and address whatever I have learned over the last 20 years. Any other points? Any other observation? Anything else anyone wants to bring?
So the students are distracted from various bombarding with the information, and all their time is being spent in mm, social media and e-content, and that information is so fast and so
Mm.
attractive.
Mm. Right.
Classrooms have become very boring
Mm.
for them,
Correct.
and
Correct. That's a very interesting point. Yeah.
teaching community, whatever they have studied, traditional things,
Mm.
and on an average, we can say in India, the teacher's age is around 45 in
Mm.
colleges. So most of the time, what happens, there is mm, a mismatch of the thoughts, what the student wants and what teacher has to
Mm.
deliver. And the
Mm.
teacher is bound with the university syllabus, completion of the syllabus,
Mm.
and his own duties to perform. But students are not at all interested in it.
Mm.
But unfortunately, nothing can be done as long as university changes its rules and regulations for the
Mm.
examination. Even now, the students are supposed to write 3 hours examination, but
Mm.
their writing skills have literally gone.
Mm.
Nothing. So this is the
Right.
basic problem what every teacher is facing.
Agree. Right. Any
Yes,
other points?
that's also from my side.
Right. Any other points anyone else has?
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear my voice, sir?
Yeah, we can hear you.
When I'm doing my PhD, so I have faced a small problem regarding data set collection. So, how to get synthetic data? Hello. Hello. Hello, sir.
Sir, you are audible, sir.
We
Sir,
can
my
hear
question
you.
is,
I've heard
yeah,
you.
yeah. Yes, sir. When I'm doing my PhD, so I have faced
Currently.
a small
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
So, how to get synthetic data?
Yeah. I heard you. I'll address that. I've heard you. Yeah. Any other points? Can you hear me? Hello. Hello.
Pankaj sir, we are not able to hear your voice.
Sir, you are audible, sir.
I think I got this for a second. Now is it okay?
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Not audible even now?
Yes, sir. You are audible now.
You are audible,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Right. Right. So great points. I think this is a good starting point. Just to reiterate, apart from the first speaker, some of the points that were mentioned by the second speaker were about bookish knowledge, students not having practical knowledge, and they're distracted with a lot of information overflow. And of course, they are always distracted with social media, and classroom is boring. And unfortunately, that's a fact. So let's see how we can address some of these things. And I think I have a few more points in addition to the points that you mentioned. And let me also list out some of those points. I think to me, one of the big challenges that our education system has is one size for all. And I think that's a terrible issue because one size does not fit all, right? And in our current education system with 60 people sitting in a class, there is no way that we can have any form of personalization, right? We expect everyone to learn the same thing. At best, we pass a comment. These guys are slow learners. These guys are fast learners. In some cases, after one semester or 1 year, you put them in different sections. All the failures, you put them in one section. All the toppers, you put them in one section. But that is also at a level of 50, 60 people. I don't think we have any form of personalization. And I think that's a very big problem because our classrooms are big. We have a lot of students in the class, and they come from a very, very heterogeneous background. People come from different medium of education. People come from different strata of society. People come with different ranks in their competitive exams and all that. So to me, personalization is a very, very big issue. Second issue, which I feel, is we have very, very poor mechanism of tracking the progress of the candidates. In most of the cases, we only track the progress on a semester basis or an annual basis, which is too late in the day. Imagine for 6 months the student is in the class, and after 6 months you tell them that look, you're not good, or you are a failure, or you are average in this, or you are poor in this. I think a lot of time gets wasted because again, we have no tools, we have no mechanism to track and give them real-time feedback. I remember when I just joined the session at 7:30, someone was asking Nishtha questions about how do we collect feedback from students. Well, that's one aspect. I'll also try and address that. But more importantly, how do we give feedback to the students, right? I think we don't have a proper mechanism. And at best, we give feedback about their marks. But you know what? In today's day and time, companies themselves are not aware of what kind of skill set they need. So what they want from you is much more than mark sheet. What they want from you is a very detailed analysis of the personality of the student. How adaptive is the student? How open-minded is the student? How good a team player is the student? Is the student consistent or not? Do we have any exam? Do we have any mark sheet? Do we have any way to give these details to companies who come to recruit you? Or do you have any mechanism to give this feedback to the student so that he improves himself and he changes? Right? Can you confirm what I'm saying is being followed? Does it make sense what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think these are the needs of today's world. Today's world, we do not need marks because like till yesterday you could refer to Google. Today you can refer to Chat GPT, and with Chat GPT and all that being there, why would you ever want to know anything, right? It's like today people don't feel the need of learning tables because there's a calculator, right? Similarly, information is not a challenge. There's in fact an information overflow. Where do you use that information is very, very important, and how do you use that information is very, very important. And for that, a lot of things relate to a person's ability to process information, person's ability to work in a team, person's ability to be open minded and have multiple ways of analyzing the same information. Convergent thinking, divergent thinking. Unfortunately, neither is it part of our syllabus, nor is it part of our teaching mechanism, nor is it part of our assessment mechanism. So essentially, what you're teaching the student, whatever you are teaching the student, has no relevance in the industry. So you spend 4 years working very hard in training the student, in assessing the student, conducting exams, maybe giving feedback to them and scolding them and punishing them and all that. But end of the day, when they come to industry, we find nothing of that to be useful because the direction itself is wrong. So that's unfortunately something which is very, very terrible. And there are tools, there are enough tools, and we'll discuss about some of them and how possibly we can use technology to kind of solve some of these problems. The third thing which I feel uh, is lacking in current education system is about domain skills. Couple of faculty members, when I asked the feedback, told about gap between academia and industry. Some of them also mentioned about how students have bookish knowledge, right? And I'm assuming most of you are still hinting at technology as the gap between industry and academia. For example, data sets, for example, programming skills, for example, technology protocols, and all that. But let me tell you, that is the smallest of the problem. That is the smallest of the problem. Sooner than later, technology will become commodity. People will not have to build a lot of things. People will start using a lot of things, and you will have, with the advent of AI, you will have, it will become more like a natural language interface. You don't have to learn a programming language to achieve something. You don't have to learn SQL like your sequence, SQL query language. You don't have to, structured query language. You don't have to know SQL. You don't have to know programming language. You'll probably talk in English, Hindi, and Telugu and say, this is what I want, and the system will generate for you. So it's a matter of time when the relevance of programming language, the relevance of technology will become lesser and lesser. I think what is very important is to understand business process, because if technology is a commodity, the important today also you use IT for what? You use IT in a hospital for improving healthcare and patient services. You use technology in a college or school to improve quality of education. You use technology in agriculture to improve the yield of agriculture. You use technology in governance to improve governance, isn't it? Technology is a horizontal. You use technology in multiple fields so that the efficiency of that field can improve, right? Now, the problem is most of our students today, even in their third year and final year, when they do their mini projects, when they do their major projects and all that, or they go for some of these internships and all that, unfortunately, their only focus is how to write a program, how to use an algorithm, but no one asks, why do you want to use an algorithm, or why do you want to apply technology? You have to understand the business process. Unless you understand manufacturing, how will you build a solution for a manufacturer? Unless you understand agriculture, the stakeholders in agriculture, the pain points in agriculture, the existing solutions in agriculture, how will you ever build a good solution for agriculture? Unless you talk to a domain expert in retail, unless you visit a retail, unless you understand the pain points of retail, how will you ever build a solution for a retail giant like Walmart, right? Because the TCSs of the world, the Infosys of the world, the Accentures of the world, all are building solutions for the Walmarts of the world, all are building solutions for the seed companies of the world, all are building solutions for the manufacturing companies of the world. Unless our people understand process, unless our people understand unless our people understand processes domain, I think it's going to be very, very difficult. And a lot of jobs that are going to get wiped out are going to be related to coding, related to programming, related to low-end technology. So if you are teaching your students in engineering how to write a program in PHP or Python, I can only sympathize with your students, because sooner than later, a co-pilot or another AI tool will write a better program than you can ever teach or they can ever write. So it is very important that your students also start understanding domain, right? So in terms of direction, there has to be a lot more emphasis on domain. And that brings me to another point, which is whether it's Andrew NG who's taking a class on AI, or whether you take a class on AI, or whether I take a class on AI, I don't think students learn anything by listening to lecture. You can have the best faculty in the world take a lecture, but students retain only 5, 10, 15% of what is told in the lecture. The only way and the right way of teaching students of engineering is to make them apply that, is to make them solve problems, is to give them case studies, is to make them solve problem statements. Because when they are solving problem statement, they will learn technology. And when they learn technology, when they have a problem and they apply that technology to solve the problem, that is the only time they really learn technology. They really learn programming language. You can teach 4 years of programming language versus give them a problem to solve for 4 weeks. You will see that 4 weeks of learning is much more effective than 4 years of theory, 4 years of lab practice that is done. Because unfortunately, even in the lab, the 10 questions are known to everyone and they are standard for 10 years. They don't change ever. So what is the challenge? What is the excitement? So somewhere we have to also start challenging our students. I think we are making it very easy for students. Like one of the professors just told that students have bookish knowledge and they write exams and they get great marks in exams. That's because they know how to by heart those fixed questions and fixed answers. Because we don't have a mechanism of challenging their thinking ability. I don't need to think for 4 years if I want to study engineering and if I want to graduate as a 90%, 85% engineer. I just need to mug up things. I just need to follow model paper books. I just need to go through question papers of last few years. I'm not challenged at all. There is very less there is very less respect for someone who does projects. It's a exercise once in a 4 year, once in a 3 year mini project, major project, which also half the times people copy paste, get some ready-made project report books and all that, because our system is not geared up towards that. And one faculty in a college cannot look at 150 projects. Faculty also has education load, faculty also has classroom load. Where does a faculty have time to go through different projects under their guidance, right? So some of these things have to change. And I will try and present to you how there are tools now, and we have built one platform ourselves in addressing some of these challenges. How you can have real life case studies, how you can have Gen AI for correcting whatever submissions they have made, how you can use Gen AI for personalization. I'm sure many of you here have children at home who are of similar age as your students. Some may have younger children, some may have older children, but on an average, somewhere in your household, amongst your own family, you would have kids of the same age that you have in your college. Now, as a parent, I can tell you, it's very difficult to manage one kid at home. How will you ever manage 60 kids in a class? The challenges are same. They don't want to follow you. They don't want to take anything for granted. They want guidance for everything. My son comes back from college and says, if I get a complaint from the college and I ask him, hey, why did you get a complaint from college? You're not supposed to have a bad behavior. I'm okay if you don't study well, but I don't want any complaints on behavior. The first answer he gives is, no, that faculty is biased. That faculty always feels I'm wrong. I'm sure your students also tell the same, right? So the reason for that and the way to address that is not to be frustrated, but evidence backed, right? Can we have a model in which we can record those data points about the student's behavior? Can we have a model in which we can consistently record behavioral aspects of the student and then present it back to them and say that, look, we are not telling this feedback or we are not giving this feedback to you based on our bias. but this is what has been your behavior. This is how it has been recorded in an online session like this. And these are the data points which relate to that. I think that will be a much better way to address students, to answer the students. And you cannot be an instructor in today's day and time. You will have to become a buddy. And that's why I think, and beyond a point, it's not possible. All said and done, all human beings are biased, whether it's you, whether it's me, right? We have limited time, we have limited patience. Can you make your student repeat the same thing 10 times, 20 times till he gets it right? Not possible, right? You look at his paper once. That also is a very big challenge. To look at 60 papers and give them specific feedback about each one of them is a very big challenge. But let's say you do it once. Can you really do it 2 times? Can you really do it 3 times? Can you really do it 4 times? No. That's where technology comes in. So I would say your role as an educator should change. Your role should now become that of using the right tools. And instead of you sweating and instead of you struggling, let the student do it as many times as he becomes right? Let's say there's a tool which can correct the submissions done by the student, right? Gives a feedback. These are the problems. Do it again. These are the problems. Do it again. Or there's an AI coach after your class, ask questions, gives the answers very good, doesn't give the answers, repeat again, right? So unless you use tools which are iterative in nature, which are personalized, right? Some will pick up things quickly, some will take a lot of time to pick up those things. No teacher can do that. You have to complete your syllabus. You have limited time period. You have holidays in between. You cannot repeat the same topic again and again. If you go slow, some of the students will say, ma'am is going very slow. If you go fast, some of them will say, we are not able to follow, right? Uh, there are all kinds of challenges because all those 60 people in the class have 60 different characters. There's no commonality between any one of them. So why not use technology? Why not use a AI buddy, which actually becomes a buddy and may not be an instructor at all. Watch the match yesterday. How was the match yesterday? And then the student involves in that conversation and then says, you know what, there was an assignment given to you. Have you worked on that? Why don't you complete that assignment? Last time also you got a feedback that you did not submit on time. Why don't you do it on time? I think that's the future. Having a buddy kind of an approach, an AI buddy, which can actually be like a shadow to this guy or girl, be like a shadow to the candidate and understand every aspect of the candidate. And now this buddy can actually be customized to the personality of the student, because if the student is from a small town, soft spoken, shy person, then the buddy can also be soft spoken, can talk in the language of the student. If the student is coming, let's say, from a top tier college, very articulate, sometimes also looks very arrogant, the AI buddy can also talk in the same language. So you can improve or decrease the articulation, the kind of authoritative way in which the AI buddy interacts, the articulation of the AI buddy, the language, be it regional language, be it English, be it any other language. All of that can be customized and you don't have to sweat about it, right? There are enough tools today. We are making one AI buddy which is trying to do exactly the same thing, right? So one, at one level, a lot of personalization. Second level, you need a lot of tracking and giving feedback in real time. A lot of feedback today which is given end of semester, end of exam, and like I keep saying, the exams that we conduct, the things that we assess are not even important in today's day and age. Even if we consider them, you give them only once in a semester. That doesn't help. What if this feedback is in real time? Right? What if this feedback in real time? Let's say this is a conversation I'm having with a set of students, or you are participants in this particular session. What if I can get a feedback immediately after this session? Some things were good, some things were not good. And one, the analysis that you are doing. And second, it can also do analysis about my body language. It can also do analysis about my articulation skills. It can also do analysis about my vocabulary. It can also do analysis about who was proactive in this session. It can also do analysis about whose point was more relevant in this discussion. In a team of 3 people, who was proactive in asking questions? When a mentor asked questions, who was proactive in giving reasons? Isn't it very powerful? possible humanly that feedback and suggest corrective measures. Very difficult, right? Almost impossible. Do you all agree with me? Is it making some sense?
Sir, there is an internet issue at your end.
Okay. Are you not able to hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Now okay.
Okay.
Now it is fine, sir.
How
Now it is
how
fine.
about in the past few minutes? How
Yeah,
about
it's
I
in the
think
past few
breaking, sir.
minutes?
Your voice is breaking.
we lost 3 minutes, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Oh, okay, okay. No, I was just saying that what if there is a AI tool which can analyze this kind of a call and say who was proactive in asking questions? What was the body language of the speaker? What was the confidence level? What was the vocabulary? These are things which are almost impossible for us as human educators or human faculty to analyze for each individual in your class, to articulate it, to give a feedback, and to suggest corrective measures. That's what technology tools today can do. So I was just asking, do you believe what I'm saying makes sense? Does it make sense in terms of personalization, in terms of tracking, in terms of analyzing at this level of detail? Because what companies want from you, what recruiters want from you, or what will benefit your students will be a feedback not just about their subject knowledge or theory knowledge, but about all these aspects, which in today's world is called as ocean framework, or there's an industry standard where it talks about adaptiveness, it talks about proactiveness, it talks about open-mindedness, it talks about are you an initiator or not. So it gives a lot of insights about the personality of the person. I'm asking you, do you concur with me? Do you agree with me that these are some of the challenges, very typical challenges of personalization, very typical challenges of tracking of students' progress and giving them feedback in real time and in an articulate way with data and evidence. It is not going to help if we just give a feedback. It has to be data backed. And that's where I also want to address the question which earlier Nishtha was asked about students don't give correct feedback. You're right, students don't give correct feedback, and I have a whole lot of things what we should do and what we should not do with students. But let's say they give a poor feedback. Can you also ask them what are the things that you want us to improve? Right? And when they answer that, you will know whether they are making sense or not. If someone is just giving 1 out of 5 and not giving reasons what can be improved, then you don't need to consider that feedback. But if they give a reason and you believe that yes, there is some meaning and substance in that reason, that's a very good point for you to improve, isn't it? So there are ways and means in which you collect feedback. It need not just be 1 to 5, 1 to 10. You can also suggest a lot of other things to them. Yeah, do you all agree with me? Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
It's
Yeah,
audible, sir.
just checking. Yeah. Just checking. Do you concur with me? And what are your views? I want to take a small break and check your views, and then we'll go ahead and I'll show you the tool set, which I believe can solve some of these problems. But what are your views? You can disagree, you can agree, you can have a different point of view. Because I believe this session is more for understanding what are the tools, AI tools for education. I want to first of all uh, come to an agreement on what are the problems before we talk about what are the solutions. Yeah, is it? Do you all agree, disagree? Any views? Okay, let me show you one slide and then I'll try and jump into some tools also. Let me show you one slide, which I want to discuss with all of you in terms of the tool set which we are trying to build. Like I said, first of all, learning can only happen by doing and by building, right? There is a tool set that we are trying to build where, one, there are multiple actors on this platform, which includes recruiters, which includes mentors, which includes training service providers, which includes students, and of course the AI buddy that I've been talking about. And then the student actually goes through a lot of profiling, because it's very important to understand what is the student all about, both in terms of personality and in terms of skills. And then there are problem statements which are thrown up to the student, case studies and business case studies which are thrown up. What can be these business case studies? These business case studies can be typically, how do I come up with a solution using blockchain for traceability of organic products? Now, we all know that when you walk into a supermarket and you look at a jar of honey, the moment there is a label of organic on that, the price is 3 times more than the regular honey. But is there a way to prove that that honey is genuinely organic? What if someone has just put a label of organic honey, right? How do you prove that? And that's where solutions like blockchain help in terms of traceability, in terms of single source of truth, in terms of maintaining a log at every aspect, right from sowing of the seed to food processing, and finally coming to the retail store, right? So with these kind of problem statements or with these kind of case studies, or for that matter, financial inclusion, right? Someone was talking about data sets. Today, forget about the problem statements of data sets. I'll give you a very genuine problem that India as a developing country and many other countries in Africa face in terms of data. Forget about data sets, right? We all talk about financial inclusion and we all understand that it is very important for people, poor people, people who have not been traditionally banked to be included in the formal financial system. That means they should be able to apply for loans. They should be able to get some micro loans. They should be able to do banking and all that. Now, the problem is for a bank or financial institute to give them a loan to get them into the formal inclusion system, they need data about these people. But these people don't have any history. They don't have any banking history, don't have any financial history. They've never had a bank account. They were never in a formal job anywhere. They never had a credit card. They never went to any formal education system. So what happens to all these people? They are like, you know, how do you bank with these people? How do you take a chance? How does a bank take a chance of giving them loan or not a loan, right? Which is where today AI and Gen AI is being used for generating a lot of synthetic data and picking up points which are beyond the traditional points. For example, can I look at the social media profile of this person? If he is connected to someone on LinkedIn or Facebook, does it give me some idea about that person? If this person is living in a certain community, does it give me some idea about this person? If his kid or brother or sister are studying in some school or college, does it give some idea about this person? Right? Some part of it is being collected, or a lot of this data from different sources is being collected, and you can also generate synthetic data so that you can match some of these profiles, right? So I think in today's world of Gen AI, data sets should not be a very big challenge because you can also, one is of course, a lot of governments, a lot of enterprises. We ourselves are working with a lot of industries, and as FTCCI, we are also doing a lot of that work where we share a lot of data and data sets. But more importantly, I think you can also generate a lot of synthetic data in today's day and time. And the way the Gen AI industry is moving, I think sooner than later, you will have models which will need lesser and lesser of data, and give more and more accurate results. From a time you needed a lot of data, giving less accurate results, you are heading towards an era where you need very less data and it'll give a lot of accurate results. Right. So coming back, so we are talking about problem statements which can be drawn from industry partners, and there is a lot of supporting material that we use generative AI to generate about these problem statements. For example, you want to know who are the stakeholders, you want to know what are the existing solutions, you want to know what are the pain points, you want to know what are the kind of uh, challenges these industries are facing. So what we try and do is give them these problem statements and then hide this supporting material and challenge them to do the research, challenge them to meet, uh, to read on internet, challenge them to meet domain experts, and come back and present uh, their idea, problem, what are the existing solutions, who are the stakeholders, what are the pain points, and what is the way to solve this problem. Once they present, then there's a feedback and analysis which is done partially through the Gen AI tools that we use and partially through the mentors. So first round is done by the Gen AI tools so that basic hygiene is taken care. And if it is so poor that it doesn't deserve the attention of mentor, it just goes back. But in case they have done a decent job after 1 or 2 iterations, then the mentor or domain expert takes over. Obviously, the confidence that one gets by talking to a domain expert or a mentor is much more than a feedback from a Gen AI kind of a tool. So a mentor takes over and gives a feedback. Once the student completes the ideation stage, the same process is followed for architecture, the same process is followed for design. And there again, I think in college, while we teach programming language, we never teach them how to build solutions for scale. We never teach them how does a solution work if there are millions of people logging in concurrently. How do we build solutions which are up and running all the time? How do we build solutions which have a good user experience? 10 years back, 15 years back, there used to be jobs for writing product manuals. Every software that was dished out would come with a product manual and people would read the product manual to use the software. Have you seen a product manual in the last few years? Have you seen anyone getting a job writing a product manual? Have you seen any user reading a product manual before using a software? Impossible, right? If they don't understand in 1 or 2 steps, they'll remove that app and download another app, right? So user experience is very, very important. Students, when they come out of college, have no clue about what is the meaning of UX. They have no clue of what is the meaning of UI, UX, right? So that user experience, user interface is very, very important. So again, they go through iterations. Again, there is feedback. There are templates which are generated by Gen AI. So everything that I'm talking about uses a hybrid of Gen AI tools and human intervention. First round is always done by Gen AI. Lot of output, lot of templates, lot of material which are very, very focused to that problem statement, very focused to that technology is done personalization. As a human faculty, it would be very difficult for me to do so much in different areas, different domains, blockchain, AI, healthcare, agriculture, right? So you have technology and you have a lot of domains. Within that also very specific financial inclusion, or it could be about crowdfunding based lending, or it could be about invoice discounting. There's so many things, right? How will I be able to generate those design templates? How will I be able to give those examples in every area? Very difficult. So a lot of Gen AI is used to generate this content, which is very customized to these needs. And then, of course, there's a human interface also. There's a human interface, a mentor also who says, look, you've attempted well, partially you have done well, but you know what? This also has to be improved. But the advantage here is that you can do as many iterations as possible till the student comes up to a certain level. Once the design and architecture is over, the students go through a build phase where they actually build. Here again, it is not enough in today's day and age to just write some code. And the way our students write code, int I is equals to 1, j is equals to I plus plus, that kind of code is not going to go anywhere. They have to work in teams which are across geographies. They have to work in teams which have people from different cultures. It is not like two roommates sitting together and explaining each other the code, right? So they have to understand what are best practices, what are coding conventions, what is the right mechanism of using GitHub and other tools for storing their code, versioning control, All of that is important. How will a faculty ever be able to go through everyone's code and give this feedback, which is very, very personalized to each individual? That is where, again, we use a lot of GenAI based tools to check the code, to give a feedback on the code, to give a feedback on the coding convention, to give a feedback on the best practices, to give a feedback on whether the code is monolithic or it is modular in nature, to give a feedback on how there can be, or there are, there's a better way of writing this code, right? So a lot of this feedback is given. And then, of course, finally, they demonstrate the product, which is done to human mentors, and they get a personalized assessment report. But more importantly, all through, lot of recommendations about what they should learn, from where they should learn, because there's so much of information overflow. Today, if I go and type blockchain tutorial, I'll get thousands and thousands of resources. It should be possible that the resources are cataloged, that the resources are categorized, and the resources are picked up in such a way that they match my level. And my level could be different from your level, and your level could be different from your students level, and your students level, multiple students can have different levels. So how do you recommend the right resources customized? You cannot have the students searching. I mean, what use is AI if I have to search the material, if I have to decide what is right or wrong for me? It should be able to do that for you. It should be able to combine multiple pieces from multiple sources and give you a curated recommendation in terms of what is the right material. Then a lot of scheduling, be it interaction with mentors like this, be it scheduling for your assignments, be it scheduling for your teamwork and all of that. And then more importantly, monitoring, like I've been telling, whether it's at ideation stage, whether it's at design stage, whether it's at build stage, whether it's at demo stage, you need a lot of monitoring, personalized monitoring, nudging, what is right, what is wrong, what are right examples. Maybe after 2 iterations or 3 iterations, if you realize that the student is not able to do on his own, open up some material, open up some support material. And then, of course, finally, a lot of insights. This is the right time. Someone also mentioned about communication skills, right? I believe communication skills is not a function of language. It's not about English. And that's why a lot of people tell me our students are from rural areas. They do not know English. That's why their communication is poor. I'm sorry. I don't think communication is a problem of language. Communication is a problem of confidence. If they do something worthwhile, if they build something worthwhile, you cannot stop them from speaking. And that confidence and that communication will be seen through on the other side. Whereas they can have enough of English, they can have enough of all that language skills, but if they have not done anything worthwhile, then their confidence level is so poor that they don't talk, or even if they don't talk sense. So I have always been a firm believer that communication skills is a function of confidence. And confidence comes when people feel worthwhile. They feel worthwhile when they build something, when they do something worthwhile. They don't feel worthwhile just by passing exams. In fact, every time they pass exams, they are also shocked. How did they pass those exams? How did they get so many marks? Right? So a lot of insights, and insights not just at a level of this answer is right or wrong, but insights in terms of consistency, insights in terms of how many iterations did it take for assignment to be accepted, insight in terms of how proactive people are. If they're answering something verbally, what is their confidence level? What is their body language? How good are they in terms of team playing ability? So a lot of such data points as insights in real time have to be given. Finally, of course, we put all of their credentials in a blockchain-based skill wallet and give rewards to all the stakeholders using blockchain, including training providers, mentors, recruiters, students, and all of them. But this is what I wanted to share with all of you. I want to take a pause here and ask you, what do you think about some of the problems we discussed? What do you think about some of the solutions we discussed? And what do you think is applicable by you in your classroom for your students? And what do you think are difficult to apply so that I can tell you how to go about it? What are your thoughts? What is your view? What are your questions related to this?
Sir, any questions from audience? Sir, please continue, sir.
Yeah, no, I had only this much to talk about. If they have any questions, I'm happy to address those questions.
Please. Sirisha?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, 1 minute, Sirisha.
Okay, ma'am.
Any questions from participants?
Yes, sir. Good evening. Pankaj, sir. This is Gautami from Malineni.
Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Yes, sir. Fine. Yes, sir. Is AI tools give 100% accurate results to judge a patient condition or medicine without sensing the patients?
Yeah, so whether it is in education, whether it's in healthcare, I think so. I have a slightly broader answer which I want all of you to think about. Uh, when we talk about AI tools, we start talking about accuracy. And the assumption here is when human beings are doing, they're doing it accurately. The fact is, there's a lot of corruption when it comes to human beings. There's a lot of inefficiency when it comes to human beings, right? Now, with AI, the way to look at it is there will never be any corruption, there will never be inefficiency. But yes, when they start using AI, when you start using AI, the results may not be very accurate, but they learn and they keep improving. At some point of time, it will become very good and it will become foolproof. I'll give you a small example. 2003-4, when we were working on VoIP, we used to tell people that voice will be free and people will only pay for data. Those days, people would look at us as aliens and say, how can voice be on internet? It always cracks. It is very difficult. You know, the voice doesn't go through and all that. Today, all of you will agree with me that voice is free and we only pay for data. All of you will also agree with me that whenever we have a call with each other, if the call is not clear, we say, wait a minute, let me call you on WhatsApp, right? Because the call on IP network is far better than call on a GSM network today, right? 20 years back, when we were working on the same technology, people would laugh at us. People would say, how is it possible that voice will be on IP? It cracks, it is not clear, it doesn't go through and all that. So with every technology, when it starts, there are challenges, but technology has this beautiful way of learning and improving and coming to a level where it is unbeatable. Same is the case with blockchain, right? Today, a lot of people question blockchain in terms of the number of transactions. People talk about blockchain in terms of, no standardization between protocols. People talk about so many aspects about blockchain, but you will see over the years that will become a standard. So you do need for foreseeable future, you need an expert who will overview the results of AI, but AI will do it so fast. And when you see the result and you feel that it's not right, you'll again tell it it's not right. Next time it'll do much better. Next time it'll do much better. So it's like at least today, it's like an assistant, but a honest assistant, sincere assistant who doesn't take leave, who's not corrupt, who doesn't fall sick, who works 24/7. And over a period of time, this assistant will only become better and better. Human beings degenerate over a period of time. Technology improves over a period of time.
Any more questions from the participants? Any other question? Okay, sir. I extend my sincere gratitude to Mr. Pankaj Diwan for his enlightening talk on generative AI tools in engineering education. Sir, your deep expertise and passion for innovation have truly inspired us. The insights you shared today have given us a fresh perspective on how generative AI can revolutionize teaching and learning in engineering education. Thank you, sir, for taking the time to share your knowledge and experiences with us. Your contribution has been invaluable to the success of this faculty development program, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
I request all the participants to switch on the cameras for a group photo. Sir Sudha Kishore, sir.
Ma'am, wait a minute.
Okay. As we conclude the third day of our faculty development program on unlocking innovations with blockchain and generative AI, I want to extend a huge thanks to our brilliant speakers, Nishta Rohatgi and Pankaj Diwan, for delivering such valuable and inspiring talks. Your expertise and insights have opened new doors of possibility for all of us, and we are grateful for your time and knowledge. To all the participants joining us from across the virtual space, thank you for your unwavering participation and thoughtful contributions throughout. Kishore, sir. Sir, Sirisha,
Ma'am, done, ma'am. Done.
closing remarks.
Take-
Uchaya.
Okay, ma'am.
Closing remarks. Okay.
Okay. A big thank you to all the participants and organizers for their active engagement. Together, we are shaping a brighter future in education. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you once again for being part of this journey. See you
Thank you,
tomorrow
ma'am.
for
Thank you,
another day
ma'am.
of inspiration and
Thank you,
learning.
ma'am.
Until then, have a
Thank you,
wonderful
Pankaj.
day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good evening.